All right. So the examples that we're getting ready to work on is still pertaining to sales tax, but we're going to do something a little different. Let me first go to the right problem. All right. So Henry purchases $56 worth of clothing at the store. The sales tax in his city is 7.5%. If Henry has $80, how much will he have left for lunch? Okay, so let me go back. We're going to reread it and we're going to fill in what we know into our story. Okay, and we're going to use two methods this time. We're going to use method 1C, which is the fish method. And then we're also going to use method 2, which is going to be the properties of operation. All right, so the sale price is going to be $56. And the sales tax in his city is 7.5%. And we need to figure out what the total price is going to be before we can move on to the next part. So I'm going to call this T as our total price. All right. And remember that in order for us to find out the total price that we have to pay, we're going to add the sales price to the tax, which will give us the total price. Okay. So under the fish method, we're going to still set up our ratios. This is a part to whole comparison. On the left-hand side, we'll have our dollar amount. On the right-hand side, we'll have our percentages. And so 56 represents the total amount that he needs to pay for the item. The 7.5% represents the sales tax in his city, which is a part or a piece of the whole when we talk about percentages. So in terms of percent, we know that a whole means that we're talking about 100%. And then for the dollar amount or the part of the taxes that he needs to pay, that's going to be represented by an X. Okay, so under the fish method, we know that we go to the side that has the variable and we look at what piece of information we already know. And we're going to cross multiply, we're going to divide, and then we're going to provide the answer. Okay, so let me write that down on here. We know that we multiply, we'll divide, and then answer. Okay, so we're going to multiply 56 times 7.5, and that gives me 56 times 7.5, which is 420. And then we're going to take 420 and divide it by 100. Okay, and you can use your calculator or what you know about base 10 and moving your decimal. I know that I'm going to move my decimal two places. So 1, 2. So it's going to sit right there in between the 4 and the 2. So 420 divided by 100 is going to give me 4.2. So you can plug that into the calculator if you don't believe what I'm doing or it doesn't make sense to you. And then we know that our answer then is going to be 4.2. Okay. And when we talk about money, remember we need dollars and cents. So X in terms of money is going to be 4.2. And then you need to add a 0 here to represent the cents. All right. And then now what we need to do is add that to the total price, right? Or the sale price. So the sale price was 56 plus the 4.2, $4.20. That gives me $60.20. And so now that we have that, we know that we're paying a total of $60.20. But the question that they're asking us is, how do we get back to this problem? The question that they're asking us is, how much will he have left for lunch? Okay, if he has $80. So this is how much he has to pay. To find out how much he will have left, all we're going to use is subtraction. We're going to say he has $80 and we're taking out the cost that he's spending. That cost includes the sale price and the tax. And then when we take 80 minus $60.20, it's going to give us $19.80. Okay. So $80 minus the $60.20 gives me $19 or 19.8. And remember, because we want dollars and cents, you just need to add a 0 here. So this is how much money he will have left afterwards. Okay. In the second method, we're going to use properties of operation. So it's the same thing. We're talking about a part to whole comparison. You're talking about the dollar amount on the left-hand side, and you're talking about the percent on the right-hand side. Okay. So now I think we can start introducing you to what's been happening here. The sale price was 56 and the tax is 7.5%. Okay. And so the total price is going to be represented by T. Okay. So the whole amount that we're paying is going to be the $56. The tax amount is 7.5. And then we know that when we talk about percentages, we're comparing that to 100%, which is the whole. And then X is going to represent the dollar amount for the taxes. So in the past few examples, this is how we've been setting up when we talk about properties of operation. But I want you to be able to see that when we talk about our ratio here on this side, the percentages, all that we've been doing is converting our percent into a decimal form. Okay. So we actually won't even need all of this information over here. If you can just remember that when we see this percent sign, it means that we need to move our decimal 2 places to the left. Okay. So that should look like this then. We're still talking about a part to whole comparison, right? So here is equal to here. Okay. Actually, you won't even need this over there. All right. So 7.5% divided by 100. You can plug it into the calculator if you needed to, but I know that I'm dividing, making this number smaller, and I need to move the decimal 2 places to the left. So that becomes 7.5. Move the decimal from where it currently is 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So now my decimal is here. Okay. So what that is we have 0.075 and we have 0 holes. Okay. So I don't even need this. So when I look at this percent sign up here, if I could start to look at it and say, oh, okay, I see a percent sign here, then that lets me know I need to drop my percent, go to where the decimal currently is, and move it 2 places to the left. Okay. So far it looks like 7.5. I'm going to move it 2 places to the left from its current location. So 1, 2. So now my decimal sits here. Okay, so there is what we have down here. Okay, so that saves you a lot of work. So knowing that if I could convert this into a decimal form, then all I need to do now is just talk about the part to whole in regards to the dollar amount. And then my percentage has already been converted over here on this side. So the whole amount is $56. And then the percentage, we've already calculated that. So that's going to be 0.075, right? And then over here, this is X. So now all we have to do is figure out what the value of X is going to be. So to find that, I'm going to have X over 56 is equal to 0.075. I know that we're dividing on this side. And so in order to get rid of that, I just need to multiply both sides by 56. All right, so 56 divided by 56, that cancels out. We're left with 1X. And so all that we have to do is multiply. Multiply 0.075 times 56. And then we end up with $4.20. So this is our tax amount, $4.20. So it's $4. Why do I keep going back? Okay, so $4.20 is his tax amount. We're trying to find out how much he needs to pay in all. So it's going to be the sale price plus the tax amount, which gives me $60.20. And then he has $80. Okay, so out of that $80, we're trying to find out how much he will have left after he pays for the clothing that he purchases. So minus the $60.20, he is left with 19.8 if you plug that into the calculator. And then you need to add a 0 so that you know we're talking about dollars and cents. So $19.80 is what he has left. In future examples, you're going to start seeing me start to write my percentages this way when we talk about the properties of operation. So I just wanted to show you guys how it works and why we're doing what we're doing. So I hope that helps.